Let's play a game called Concerned or Confident. You can lead it.
All right. So, with this, we'll just go through everybody on all the position groups on the team and just give me your grade. Let me know if you're concerned or confident, and you could be both. You could have questions. So, first group for me. Let me ask you: how do you have the coaches graded? Are you concerned or confident? Do you have questions?
Interesting. It's an excellent coaching staff, but I do have, and I'm confident in them, but I have questions, and I'll give him an A-. D'Amico, I don't have any questions with him. The defensive side of the ball is so good. D'Amico's really good. Kaceric's the best. The secondary coach, Corey Unlin, former defensive coordinator who was with the Patriots and Matt Patricia and Bill, he's good. I think the defense is pretty much set. The offense, though, it's funny. It's Kyle's baby, but like so many new position coaches. They lost McDaniel. They lost the tight end coach, the running back coach, the wide receiver coach. So I think there's a lot of – what is Brian Griese? He jokes so much like, I don't even know what kind of coach I am. Yeah, man, you got a big task ahead of you. Like, what are you up to it? So there's a lot of questions on the offense. And then I know it's tough for Niner fans to hear, but as great as Kyle is at drawing up plays and putting together a playbook, he still has questions to answer as a head coach. So I'm saying A-. And I think that's – I mean, I think that's fair. I wouldn't go B range. Yeah.
I think that's fair. I give him an A. I think I'm confident. Some questions there. Like you said, like one of the questions that I'm worried about is he going to run Trey Lance too much? I really don't want to see a ton of design runs for Trey Lance, maybe a couple a game, if that. Like I'd rather just, make sure he's healthy, keep him in there because the next quarterback in is a little scary for me. But overall, I think they're coming into their, Shanahan's on his 6 years, the head coach for the 49ers. He's got a ton of experience under his belt. So hopefully he's learned. I like Anthony Lynn. I think he's a good addition for the running backs. They've always had good running back coaches with the 49ers. I think Anthony Lynn is another one. And I think Griese may be a good role model for Trey Lance or what's the word, mentor. Obviously, they're different kind of quarterbacks because he's an older guy. He's played the position. He understands the system. So
one thing with this coaching staff, Kyle in particular, he and they haven't shown that they can develop and nurture a young quarterback. And now they have Trey Lance. And so if Lance works out, they'll be an A+ coaching staff. Pretty much. Yeah. You understand? And if he doesn't work out, all of a sudden you look at Kyle way differently. So I think he understands it, but his reputation is so deeply intertwined with Trey's development. A lot at stake here.
Yeah, Kyle's going to do everything he can to make Trey successful.
I would hope. Gabe Rocha says, howdy, really seems like Sudfeld has been flexing his arm more than Lance. Funny because you would expect it to be the opposite. No. Well, I mean, I'm just saying Sudfeld gets to play with Ayuk and Debo and throw against Ambry all the time. So maybe that's part of it. But maybe Sudfeld's better than I think, although I don't think so. Let's keep going. What's next?
So that brings up the next one. Are you concerned or confident with the quarterback room? Do you have questions, and what would the grades be?
I am concerned about the quarterback room. I would give it a. I'm gonna see what your grades are. Yeah, I'll give you the same grade, B-. B-. Mm-hmm. I like Trey, but 22 didn't play last year. Didn't play the year before that. Niners could have prepared him. Could have given him 7 starts last year. Probably would have done even better last year. They'd be in a better spot now, but they didn't. They also could have got rid of Jimmy Garoppolo and gotten a real backup quarterback. Didn't do that. They have Nate Sudfeld. And the question is, I mean, obviously, if Trey Lance goes down for the season, Niners are screwed. Doesn't matter who your backup is. If he goes down for a month, that backup quarterback matters. If he can get you 3 wins if he can win 2 out of 3 games like Colt McCoy did for the Arizona Cardinals, you're still in the playoff race. If you lose 3 games, that could be it. Mm-hmm. So I don't know about Nate Sudfeld. He's never started a game in his life. I don't know. They could have had Tyrod Taylor, but they held on to Jimmy. So B-.
Yeah, I mean, based on the backups and then Trey's body of work, honestly, the grade should be lower. I just brought it up to a B- because of Trey's potential of what he could possibly become. But honestly, that's a big unknown. Tons of questions, tons of concerns there. I give him a B- simply because I think Trey has a ton of potential to be an A quarterback. And so that brings up the whole room. But again, it's unknown. So definitely concern, definitely questions. Although, if I had to bet, I would think Trey Lance is going to be a good quarterback in the NFL.
Me too.
It hasn't happened yet. So it's hard to, say if that's going to be true or not until we see a large body of work.
From what he showed in that second half of the Houston Texans game, I mean, that was a must-win game. He eviscerated them in the second half. He became very, very confident as that game went on. Yeah, I feel like he's going to be a good quarterback. Now, is he going to get a huge second contract from the 49ers? We'll find out. We'll find out. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So concerned or confident with the running backs, and what are the questions and the grades there?
All right. I'm going to give this an A-2. I really like the running backs. To me, Elijah Mitchell, no one's really talking about him, but I think he's in the running to lead the league in rushing this year. He's bigger. He had 18 carries a game last year. That's a ton. I don't see them all of a sudden. I'm trying to ban someone. Okay, there you go. There's a bot. I don't see them taking that down. I mean, he just put on 10 pounds. I think they're saying, look, man, we want to give you a big load. You are a terrific running back. You're so efficient. You never fumble. We want to give you more. Can you handle it? And I think he's trying to. So I think you got him he could lead the league in rushing. You got Debo, who's the best running back in the league, and he only does it sometimes when you need to win the game. He can do that. My only question is, like, do they have a third down back? Someone that you could throw the ball to out of the backfield on third down. Like, to me, it's still Juszczyk. But I put him in the running back group too. He's a really good player.
Yeah.
And their running backs are really good.
I think if you put Juszczyk and Debo into the running back group, then I can understand your grade. I actually went a lot lower. I wasn't including Debo and I wasn't including Juszczyk. I was just Elijah Mitchell and everyone else. What's that?
I cheated.
You cheated. There you go. Yeah, I gave them a B because just to me, I think they're solid. I think they benefit from a strong running game and scheme with the 49ers. I haven't yet seen any of the running backs that we have, not including Juszczyk or Debo, become that elite running back, top 5, top 10 in the NFL. So it's great to hear Elijah Mitchell. You think he can. So I'm looking forward to that. All I can base my grade is on what they've done so far and what they've done in camp. But
my only thing with Mitchell is, like, he can't catch. He's a really good player. I think they want him to be a third down back, but he clanked the ball 2 days ago off his chest. I don't know who is going to be the guy who catches passes for them. Maybe Jeff Wilson Jr., although he's not super fast. Maybe JaMychal Hasty again, or Jordan Mason. I like Jordan Mason.
I had that question for you. I don't know. From what I'm hearing, I'm a little worried for Hasty. Sounds like Mason could maybe beat him out and be that third and long.
Yeah. I mean, Mason is just like a goal. I mean, they're just built oppositely. Mason's a goal line back, but he's big and he has good hands. The one guy, Ty Davis Price, looks like he's got some burst to the edge. He can't catch either. He's another 2-down back. I don't know why. And Trey Sermon, I mean, he has no burst, but he has good hands. He's actually a little bit kind of like Jordan Mason. He can catch the ball. I don't know. They have a lot of bodies here. I think they're pretty much good, though, with Debo and Elijah Mitchell. Really, when those two guys are healthy, that's the best 1-2 punch in the league, I think. Am I missing
who's leading, TDP or Trey Sermon?
Who's leading?
Better?
I like TDP. I mean, Trey Sermon is better. Like, he can catch. But TDP he's decisive and he has a burst. That's what Mostert had. Like, Trey Sermon is the guy who's indecisive, like Tevin Coleman. Oh, I don't know where to go. Let me cut back. No, wait. Like, they don't like that. Elijah Mitchell, very decisive. Mostert, very decisive. Ty Davis Price seems that way too. I like Ty Davis Price better. Faster, stronger, runs harder. Yeah.
All right. Well, concerned or confident?
Game says Trey Lance over 300 yards passing versus Bears. Under. They're gonna run so freaking. You have no idea how much they're gonna run the ball. Abu Marco, they're gonna pass the ball as much as they have to. Abu Marco 23 says Eli looked good catching at the end of the season. I mean, I think you could throw screens to him, but can you throw him the ball on an angle route against a linebacker? I don't know. Jeff Wilson Jr., you can, no doubt. Which is why he might still make the team. All right, let's talk.
Wide receivers, concerned or confident? Obviously, they just got Snead. What questions, what grades would you give that group?
I am concerned. I'm going to give it a B. Ayuk is really good. He looks like he's going to have a Pro Bowl season and get the bag, as it were. Debo looks like he's not himself. Debo looks like he needs to have a really, really good training camp to get himself ready for week 1 because he can't outrun Emmanuel Mosley on a fade route. Like, he just looks not quite himself. He ran a comeback today and fell down. Debo fell down on the like. Debo has some of the best body control in the league, so he'll get there. But usually, like the best players are there when camp starts. Ayuk was there. Debo's gonna get there, so that's not great. Although he's a great player, he should get there. After that, I don't know what the Niners have at wide receiver. Juwan Jennings hasn't caught a pass from Lance since Saturday. Ray Mccloud is pretty good, but he's the smallest wide receiver I've ever seen. There's only so much you can do with him. He's like 5'6". He looks really small. But yeah, you can use him on gadget stuff. You can throw him the ball down the field, but you're really going to throw him a dig over the middle? Like, he's little. There's only so much you can do with him. He's a gadget player. Is he really a number 3? Could he start if someone? Here's the thing: what happens if Debo or Ayuk misses any games? What do you got then? That's where I'm concerned. They have guys who could maybe be a number 3 receiver, but I don't see any of these number 3 receivers who could actually start a game. They want Juwan Jennings to be that guy. I don't think he's that guy. I don't think Ray Ray's that guy. So I don't know. Maybe Willie Snead, huh?
Yeah. I think that's why they signed Snead. I've been taking a lot of crap this week because I've been saying this, that they need to sign somebody else after Ayuk and Debo. There's a lot of unknowns, to say the least. We really, like, one of those guys goes down, it's a big drop off for the team. So I gave them a B+ just because I think Debo and Ayuk are A's. The rest are kind of unknown to me. So hopefully Snead is the guy.
I'm with you. Sentinel says he's billed at 5'9", Ray, but is actually shorter. Grant, I don't know. It's just it's just an impression in person. I'm not saying they're lying, but if you go into practice, tell me he doesn't look 5'6". Tell me he doesn't look like someone's little brother on the field. I'm just saying. Sorry, Ray. You're a good player. I actually think he's having a better camp than Juwan, who looks like a grown man, but can't catch the ball right now. Sorry, Juwan.
How does his quickness compare to Hasty?
Who, Ray?
Mm-hmm. I know they're different positions, but
different positions. Like, Ray's got long speed in addition to the quickness. Like, you could actually line up Ray wide receiver. He can run a fade route. You can't do that with JaMychal. But JaMychal can actually block on third down in addition to running routes. Like, I don't think you could put Mccloud in the backfield ever. Look at him. Look at him. He can't block. So, there are other ways. You can use him as a receiver on extended handoffs outside, but you can't have him in. I don't think so, because teams will blitz and they'll force him to block, and he won't. That's
sometimes those small guys are shifty. Like, remember Sproles?
For sure.
Yeah.
But they're like stocky, sneaky strong, and can block a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So next, moving on, tight ends. Concerned or confident? Questions or grades for the tight end unit?
I'm lower on the tight ends than you. I'm going to go B-. I feel like Kittle is still good, but he's on the downslope of his career. Like, whenever he catches a ball in camp, he gets blasted. Like, there's a guy on him immediately. He's not getting the separation, and he's not outclassing these athletes the way he used to. In my opinion, maybe I'm wrong, but that's the way I see it. It's always a contested catch with Kittle. And then after him, like, Werner's hurt. Dwelly, like, they never use him. And I don't know what else they got. They got like Tanner Hudson and Tyler Kroft. Like, I don't know. I feel like they could have traded Kittle this offseason and had 2 good tight ends, but they have one tight end who's still excellent, but less excellent than he was yesterday. And I don't know what they have after that. I like Dwelly, but they don't use him. So, and Charlie Warner hasn't been healthy at all. He's coming back from a very serious injury. So I'm a little concerned about the depth here, I guess. Yeah.
I heard so I gave them an A- just because I ranked Kittle super high, and you could be right. He could be on the downslope, but I still think he has the potential to actually be better with Trey Lance than he was with Jimmy Garoppolo, but I guess that's yet to be seen. But because of Kittle, I put them at an A-. Dwelly, I think, is going to be there. And I've really heard a lot of good things about this Hudson guy and his hands. So maybe he sneaks in there as a third tight end if they keep one. I'm not sure. But yeah, I have them at an A-.
Fair. Let's take some questions real quick. We'll get back to the game. Sports Card Trader says, when the Niners are in nickel, Jimmy Ward is the nickel back and Moore and Huff is safeties. I remember all other corners getting burnt man coverage last year. Thoughts? I think it's clever. I think it's something they'll experiment with, but they haven't experimented with it yet. They're sticking with Denard as their nickel. And I think he probably is going to have to get burned in a game before they decide that that's the wrong move. Because I think it's the wrong move. But we'll see. I mean, they went with Josh Norman for a long time last year too.
And we'll see if Verrett can come back and be healthy, and that might change things too.
U.S. guy in Japan says, what are your thoughts on the dysfunction in the NFC West? AZ law trouble, Rams quarterback trouble. Can this help Lance? Niner fans represent worldwide. Yep. But it seems to me like the Niners have their own distraction. Jimmy's still here. So, yeah, it's a very dysfunctional offseason for the NFC West.
Yeah, one of the Arizona running back coach was suspended for a domestic battery, I believe. So
yeah,
I just saw that today.
Rodrigo says, do you see the Niners beating the Broncos week 3, Grant? No, but I could be wrong. I mean, when the schedule came out, that was one of the losses I predicted for the Niners. That's a tough one. You know, I once asked Ian Williams, where's the most difficult place to play in the NFL? He goes, Denver. I said, really? Not Seattle? He goes, yeah, Seattle's loud, but Denver, you're gassed at halftime. It's so hard to breathe. That's what I heard. Denver. Mm-hmm. All right, let's keep going with the game. Sorry.
All right, cool. So questions or concerns, or excuse me, confident or concerned questions about the offensive line.
That's a tough one. Okay. To me, I'm going to say, ooh. D+.
So definitely concerned.
Yeah, I'm going to say like the highest possible failing grade you could have. But to me, I think it's either going to be good, average, or bad. That's what the whole line coach said yesterday. And I think it's teetering between bad and average right now. And it could go either way. Good would be a surprise. But look, they got the best left tackle in the game. That's a great start. It's a great start. McGlinchey's a solid right tackle when healthy. We don't really know where he's at. But let's assume he's healthy. That's a good start. After that, I don't know what they got. Aaron Banks, no clue. Spencer Burford, no clue. And then I don't even think they have a starting center on their team. I think whoever is going to start at center for them isn't on the team yet. They want it to be Brunskill. He can't snap the ball, Ryan. He had a fumbled snap today. How many fumbled snaps are they going to allow him to have before they move someone else there? And like Jake Brendel, great guy, smart, works hard, measurables, yada, yada, yada. He probably would have proven it at this time. He's 29 years old. The whole league didn't realize that he's a starting center, but at 30, they're like, oh my God, look what we found. So you don't have a center on the team. That's kind of I don't know, man. I'm pessimistic. D+. They got to fix this. This is a work in progress. I don't like this.
I give him a C+ because obviously you got Trent Williams. That's an A++.
Yeah.
McGlinchey, from what I heard, he seems to be doing okay. I've heard good things about the rookies, Burford and Banks, or second-year man Banks. Yeah. So to me, the biggest concern is the center spot, even over the young guards. So that's why I give them a C+. I hear you. It is, even the young guards, they're unproven. So until they do it in a game, we really don't know. I'm just basing everything on what we're hearing. Would you agree? Because I heard from a few people today was probably the O-line's best showing in training camp.
It was, but to be fair, Armstead wasn't out there. Kinlaw wasn't out there. Bosa had a lot of reps off. It was basically the second string defensive line. The offense was in pads. I mean, I think that the Niners did everything they could to try to even the playing field a little bit, which is fair. I mean, you heard what Brian Greasy said yesterday, right? Someone asked him, how beneficial is it for Trey to go against this great defense every day? And he was like, I mean, good and bad. It can't get much harder, which is good. But at the same time, it'd be nice if he could develop some skills and confidence. It's like, yeah. So what I'm seeing is they're so overmatched. And it's not just Trey, it's the whole offense, that they had to even it up a little bit today. And he functioned. That's a win. It's hard to function as an offense when Nick Bosa's out there.
Yeah.
Straight up. Yeah. Straight. All you got to do is put him on Mike McGlinchey and the play's over. I'm sorry, Mike. It's Nick Bosa.
Right. Well, the good news is we're not going to face many D-lines like the Niners D-line this year.
No.
If any. All right. Okay. So let's move on to the defensive side. D-line, where do are you confident in those guys, or are you concerned, or do you have questions? What's your grade for them?
D-line. Okay. I'm going to give it an A. And it has the potential to be an A+. Nick Bosa, A+. And then Samson Ebukam, really underrated. Drake, they have a lot of good players. My question is Kinlaw. I think Kinlaw can take it to an A+. Kinlaw, to me, Kinlaw could be Eric Armstead 2.0. If you had 2 Eric Armsteads, that'd be better than 1. The thing with Kinlaw is he needs to practice a lot to perfect his technique and keep his pad level down. And I haven't seen him really be able to practice more than twice a week in a long time. He didn't practice today. And I understand it's not his call. They're being cautious with him, but at a certain point, he's going to need to be out there every day to make the strides that he needs to make to be great. So until I see him just out there every single day, I'm always going to be a little concerned, I guess. It's the concern, the question, concerned. I'm concerned about that. That's the one thing I'm concerned about is that interior. But they do have such depth that they should be able to find solid replacements if it doesn't work out. He's the guy that has the potential to be special.
Yeah, I gave them an A+, just because if you compare it to like who else is better in the NFL, I don't really think there is. So it's got, you got Bosa. Is there a better D line in the NFL? I don't think there is.
I mean, the Rams have a really good D line. It's not as deep, but they do have he's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty deep. He's all right.
He's deep.
Yeah. He's mid, as my kids would say.
Hate the game. Thank you for becoming. I appreciate you. Hold on. LA, the Ramelia Sports Report says Stafford looking Super Bowl sharp in camp. A-Rod balling. Cup doing his thing. Akers looking explosive again. Wagner, huge upgrade. Niners stay with this O-line. Man.
You have like 2 receivers.
Yeah. Let's see how Allen Robinson does against Travarius Ward and Emmanuel Mosley, because I don't think he's going to be getting much separation. Another thing I want to point – we'll get there when we talk about the DBs. Let's keep going.
Yeah, they downgraded on the receiver room in L.A. All right, so let's move on to linebackers. How do you are you concerned? Are you confident in the linebackers? Do you have questions? What grade would you give them?
I would give the linebackers an A+. I feel like the Niners have the best linebackers in the league. I mean, they take Azeez off the field and nickel. That's almost
it's crazy.
Wrong. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, he could be playing 100% of the snaps for a lot of teams in the league. And like they also have the ability to, I mean, Oren Burks is a good backup. Demetrius Flanagan, every linebacker on the team is good. And it's partially Robert Saleh's legacy. He was a linebacker coach in Jacksonville. He knows exactly what he's looking for. He was big on the smaller. This is the passing league. You need guys who can cover. Coverage is the most important skill for a linebacker. I think that was kind of revolutionary, a little bit of a new thought for the Niners at least. And D'Amico Ryan, look at D'Amico. He was like a 260-pound linebacker 15 years ago, and now he's coaching guys who are like 220. And so he's carried on what Saleh started. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, Niners seem to like fast linebackers and fast offensive linemen. I give them an A. I found it. So you think the linebacker unit is stronger than the defensive line unit?
I just think it's. I mean, well, again, if Kinlaw had no questions, then they would be 2 A+. But there's no player in the linebacker core with a question like that. Warner, there every day. Azeez gets hurt sometimes, but he's been there every day. Greenlaw's been there every day. I feel like they're just talented and solid and durable and everything. All the things that are good, they have.
Okay. All right. Last group, defensive backs. What do you have any? Are you concerned, confident? You have questions? What's your grades for those guys?
I'm gonna go A-.
All right.
It's the best secondary they've had in a while, but I still am not sold on Talanoa. We'll see. Not sold on Denard. We'll see. Ward and Mosley are a hell of a tandem. Travarius Ward and Mosley. They're really good. And what they're doing is they're playing press man coverage. It's so hard for Trey Lance to – I mean, it's like the pass rush is on you. No one's open. And Lance has to wait. You have to wait because it takes a while to beat Travarius Ward in man coverage. It takes a while to beat Emmanuel Mosley in man coverage. So that's cool. The only problem is what happens if one of those guys misses time, like the wide receivers. Mosley misses time every year. Who's stepping up after him? Ambry Thomas? Because Ambry Thomas is like a mental case right now. Like he has no confidence at all. So a little concerning. 2 starting spots, got questions. Diamador Lenore. They need Jason Verrett to come back. They really do. because I don't think you can count on Emmanuel Mosley to play 17 games. If he does, great.
Yeah, I took Jason Verrett into the equation when I give them their grade and gave them an A. Ward, Mosley, Verrett, that is the best. I mean, that's probably the best defensive back unit the Niners have had since we had Deion Sanders. It's a really strong defensive back unit. So I gave them an A. I have D-line with the highest grade on the team, but I think I'm hoping that Kinlaw can live up to his potential this year. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think I feel kind of silly not having the D-line as the highest graded unit on the team. I mean, it's the most impactful unit, but you got to give those linebackers credit. They're good too.
Yeah.
They're good too.
Well, that was it, but let me ask you one more. How do you grade the organization, 49ers? Concerned or confident in the organization, or questions, and how would you grade them this year?
That's a really good question. I feel like they're a real solid B organization. And it's not that Kyle's a B or John Lynch is a B. I think they actually do the best they can given the ownership that they have. To me, like the Yorks act like they want to win and they say that they want to win, but they're not as committed to it as like Joe Lacob, for example. And like this year, I mean, they just went to the NFC Championship, and I feel like the Yorks told Shanahan and Lynch, like, look, we're not going to spend as much this year. Act accordingly. We spent a lot the last few years. Like, really? What kind of owner is that? So I feel like you have these a highly competitive coach, a highly competitive GM doing the best they can with the Yorks, who are money printers. I mean, look at their stadium. That stadium says everything of what they are. It's in the wrong city. It doesn't look like anything. It's generic and bare bones, really.
It's hot.
And I feel like, you know what I'm saying? It's so really them alone, ownership, I would put them low, but they got John and Kyle. And it seems like those two really work very well given the confinements that they're stuck with having New York. It's not like McVay has unlimited cash down in LA. That guy what's his forget his Kroenke. Unlimited, worth $10 billion. The Yorks over here are invested in 50 companies. How much cash do they have? It's all an investment. I don't know. Anyway, the organization.
I think they're doing good. Like you said, there's three things that I would love to see them do. They would let me know that, okay, we're all in 100% trying to win this Super Bowl. One was just get rid of Jimmy, sign a top-notch center, sign a top-notch wide receiver, and that the ship may have sailed on the receiver. Treader's still out there. You could still get rid of Jimmy. If they did those three things, I would think they did an amazing job. And I think they did a good job, but they're just missing that all in like DeBartolo in the 90s. Like, go out and get freaking Deion Sanders or do something to just really push you over the top. But other than that, I think you're right, B+ in that area.
Let me ask you a question. What's a better organization? The 49ers, who have reached the playoffs twice, who have reached the Super Bowl twice in the last 10 years and have had numerous NFC championship runs. Also, a lot of bad years and they've never really had sustained success over the last 20 years under Yorks. Or Pittsburgh, winning season every year, hasn't really done much in the playoffs since they won the Super Bowl, which they did.
Overall,
Pittsburgh.
It would be Pittsburgh.
I agree.
Yeah, and
that's a good organization.
I think fans get frustrated with me on Twitter and with me on YouTube and stuff sometimes because, I was born in '79. From the time I was born to the time I graduated high school, the 49ers won 5 Super Bowls, right? Since then, they haven't won a Super Bowl. Going into the first Super Bowl with Harbaugh, they never lost a Super Bowl that they went to. That was the first Super Bowl loss that we had. Then Kyle Shanahan went and got the second Super Bowl loss.
Yeah.
So I think my standards, the reason why I'm critical, I'm a bit jaded because I long for the days of the 80s and 90s, and I'm hoping we can really just make a push to get there. I think if they would have made those 3 moves I just went over, that would have shown me that they're all in. I think they're doing a great job. I'm happy that we're relevant again, but that's why I'm so critical of this organization. I just want to see them get back there.
I feel like the Niners are like the Celtics of the NFL. Like they're the premier franchise, but they're always kind of looking to the past, like trying to recreate what they had in the glory years, and they can't. They come close sometimes. Anyway, I don't know why I went there, but Yeah. Rams fans always on Niners and Hawks chats because they don't have enough fans to start their own. That's probably true. I would have to say. I'm just saying. But that's smart. That's smart.
Yeah.
Hey, the Remilia Sports Report is always welcome here. What do you think about the Willie Snead signing? We talked about at the beginning, but real quick, we think that either he's completely washed because he has bounced around a little bit, or he might start some games for the Niners. One of the two.
Good summary.
They need a backup wide receiver who can start if Debo or Ayuk misses some time, because I don't know they have that guy on this team. And Willie Snead was that guy his whole career. Now he's almost 30. I don't know.
Snead has more experience starting and getting substantial minutes than anybody on the team besides Debo and Ayuk.
See, I got you saying minutes. I got you thinking basketball. It's my fault.
Okay. I'm always basketball. I'm always in basketball mode.